it's not just about those subjects, it's about how you rise above them, and it's so much more than just strength. You have to be fierce and you have to be vicious. So it ended up coming together that way, and it's very honest, and I hope that it represents something for you as much as it does for us.
Yeah, cool. Do you guys have anything you want to add about that?
I mean,
Because Lizzie and I could just chat all night, but we don't want to leave you.
It's musically vicious too.
yeah, you're right.
We really put a lot of time into the musicality of this, and it's going to be hard to learn live. It's going to be really a challenge. So yeah, we're not ready to play them all live yet, but they'll be ready soon.
I think viciously, it's a record that you can hear all the personalities of every bit on this record. I mean, I'm a drummer. I know my role. Just gotta lay down the twos and the fours. But all right.
He doesn't know his role.
Work with a producer that. Working with Nick was a way to help bring more creativity, more personality. I think, I speak for myself, but I think I also speak for everybody. Like we're able to kind of use our instrument as our voice and try to bring something to this record besides just playing it safe.
Yeah, cool. So you just released your first single, Uncomfortable, which I love. I hope you guys have heard it.
I'm playing it safe.
And I like how it talks about sort of stepping out of your comfort zone.
Yes, not much anymore. And the song is about being unapologetically yourself, and in this day and age especially, you can't make everybody happy. It's absolutely impossible, and so you just kind of have to, say that's okay. Eventually, you have to just say that's okay and stop trying to please everybody. Kind of be proud and almost relish in the fact that by being yourself, just solely by being you, you're going to make a lot of people uncomfortable. So, yeah.
And I like how you sort of made like an anthem out of it. But yeah,
It's okay.
it's great. So I had the opportunity to listen to just a few of the songs on the album. They didn't give me the whole thing. I don't know.
You got more than
They're teasing even me. But I was wondering about a song called Do Not Disturb. And for years, guys have been bragging about their sexual exploits, and I was wondering if Do Not Disturb is sort of your answer.
Well, I mean, in the world of rock and roll, sex is not just exclusive to boys, and to the male gender. I mean, we as women we express ourselves sexually as well, and it's right. A lot of sex fans in the crowd tonight. For those of you who don't know, this is my little brother, and he has his own set of earmuffs when I start writing these songs. So I've accepted the fact that it just comes with rock and roll. It sells, it works.
But as women, we approach sex with a position of power, and it's almost this regality. It's our right to express ourselves sexually, and as you know, as me being the I get off girl forever now. I like to express that, just from my point of view, being in rock and roll, and it's just so much fun to do that. And yes, it does make a lot of people uncomfortable, but, and this song, Do Not Disturb, is, you guys haven't heard it yet, but it is based on a true story. And if you go over every song that is based on sex that we've ever released, we've just turned it up just a notch. So listen to it in headphones and enjoy yourself.
Do not disturb.
See, it's already stuck. I love it. I'm so sorry.
It's a sticky song.
It's a stick.
Sticky.
I'm not going to touch that one.
There you go.
Or will I?
See? We're having fun already. So you guys recorded in Nashville, and I think you've recorded there before, correct? And so is it weird for, a heavier band to record in Nashville? Is Nashville known for country, but
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, not at all. I don't.
no.
The location really has nothing to do with our goals as a band, but it's nice to be close to home because we live there, and so that we had that going for us.
There's a great rock scene in Nashville.
Yeah, a bunch of great rock and rollers live there from a bunch of cool bands, and there's the rock and roll residency on most Tuesdays when they're not out with Gene Simmons, and just fun rock and roll times in that town.
Musicianship is amazing because it's not, I mean, you talk a lot about Nashville being country, and if you get off Broadway and the touristy attractions, it's just so much more than that. There's an underbelly of crazy metal scene and a rock scene, but because it's Nashville and it's Music City, everyone's really good. So, it's I'm just glad that we cut our teeth somewhere else in Pennsylvania and then we moved there because it's just too much competition. Get blown away every night.
That can sort of inspire you too to
Absolutely,
be
because
better.
by recording in Nashville, you have to step it up because there's somebody kind of going by the studio or dropping by every now and then, like, oh, let me listen to a couple tunes. Like, oh God, really? You want to hear some new stuff? So yeah, we aim to please.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk to you about your producer, Nick.
Nick Raskulinets.
There you go.
Raskulinets.
And
He
if
was
you
asking me earlier, how do you pronounce his name?
And if you can figure out how to spell it, you can Google him.
I
but,
was going to give it a shot, but no. So why did you choose him, and how did he contribute to the project?
Well, we worked with him on the last cover EP, and we had met him before that. My first experience with Nick was at one of these cool rock shows in Nashville, and I think it was Tony Higbee's birthday, and he had a bunch of friends up to play, and they had Lizzie singing 2 Bon Scott AC/DC era songs. I forget which 2, but he had Nick playing bass, and that was our first time meeting him, and I'd always been a fan just because I'd seen his name on a bunch of records I loved, and they went through the songs, and they killed it. Lizzie sounded amazing. She was just up there just ripping, and Nick was like, see, man, that's the kind of vibe, not AC/DC, but like I want to see her just ripping faces off, and that's what I want to hear out of Lizzie, man. And I was like, totally, I'd like, yeah, of course. I mean, we all do, and we just kind of kept that musical conversation going, and we worked with him on the cover EP, which was such a good experience. We're like, will you please?
We were kind of testing him out there.
And yeah, we went in, and we didn't know what exactly to do. We wanted these great songs that were in the tradition of Halestorm, but how do you push that forward? How do you take it up a notch? And we were a little bit lost, just like we're not sure, Nick. And he was like, well, let's start with the 4 of you in the room together and just start playing riffs and let's see what happens. He was bopping in and out saying that was cool, and it just went from there, and we started building the groundwork.
Yeah, it's amazing because, with Nick, I mean, he's not just a fan of our band, but he's such a fan of rock. And if you don't know who Nick Raskulinets is, he's responsible for most of Alice in Chains, bringing Korn back, Deftones, the Foo Fighters,
Queens of the
Stone Age, Rise Against, the
Evanescence.
Mastodon, the list goes on. So he's a rock fan. So we really, I mean, he kept us pushing the envelope, whereas when we thought we were rocking enough, he's like, no, you can more because I've seen you. Do more, fine. So yeah, this became such and we were recording everything from conception. So a lot of these songs that you're going to hear on this record have been recorded a couple times, and there's many different versions of it before it became what it was. But it was just amazing because we were able to really go through that journey and spend some time on this record and really know and love it, and right before we give it to you. And it's such a different way to do that because we've been doing records for a while, and usually it's like, all right, let's do a bunch of writing and let's get the songs together. Okay, everybody agree on what we're doing? Okay, good. Go in for like a month and nail it out, and then we're gonna release it. And then like the record come out, I'm like, I don't, is it good? I don't know. So we're so proud of this, and we had just such an amazing coach, with Nick. And
A 5th member,
So,
for sure.
yeah.
He was a 5th member of the band.
can't wait.
Yeah.
It's all beginning. Yeah.
just started today.
So is your writing process like collaborative together, or like does somebody come with an idea and then you build on that, or?
There are many ways to skin that cat. You really all you're doing is you're chasing whatever gets you excited. So a lot of times I'll come in with an idea and the guys will help me raise it, and then specifically with Uncomfortable, that started out as an instrumental. And it actually has a couple different versions. We ended up settling on this one. But for a while, I didn't know what to write about with this one, but I loved the music so much. And it ended up a conversation that I had with all of you guys on the socials, and we started really getting into that subject about just being you and unapologetically. And I'm like, oh, you know what? I haven't really written about that specifically, and I think that you guys deserve that. So yeah, it took a second. But then there are songs on the record. For instance, there's a song called Heart of Novocaine that I wrote on piano first and brought it in, and we just kind of built it around the vocal because all the lyrics were done. The song kind of came out in about 5 minutes, and it was a special song to everybody, but we ended up building it around the voice instead of building it around music. So yeah, there's many different ways. You just have to really just keep chasing what gets you excited.
Anybody else want to?
Yeah, I mean, that was definitely the nice thing about making this record. Every time we go in to make a record, we feel a little bit more confident. We got another 2 or 3 years of touring under our belts. That was the cool thing about this record, and working with someone like Nick was very much encouraged. Was the four of us being able to, starting with the four of us, basically, as opposed to every other record where it's kind of done in a systematic way, do the co-writes, get the songs together, get the parts together, knock it out, put a bow on it, put it out in the world. It was very much from the very beginning, starting with the four of us in a room, just like the old days,
Yeah, so, and which works, and we're so proud of our last records, but we just needed to shake it up. And so like we would come into the studio and it's like, all right, Nick would be like, all right, what do you got? Do you got a riff? All right, let's just follow that. Oh no, and then it's like, oh, that sucks. Let's do something else. Who else has got something? So it was very rapid fire, and so.
And we need that, because otherwise we'll just
we'll
guess ourselves to death.
We need somebody to be like, no, just go do this.
We need an authoritative figure.
Yeah, okay. So you've been touring with a couple of other female-fronted bands in this moment on New Year's Day.
Some of you were there. Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you guys, why do you feel that it's important to tour with other bands with women at the helm? And, what is it about those particular bands that you really like to put on the bill with you guys?
Well, we're just about to start our second leg with these girls, but we've been touring with In This Moment, so Maria Brink, and New Year's Day, Ash Costello, and Ash and Maria and I have been friends for years. We just never get to see each other because we're always working and we're always on different tours. Like, oh, you're in Europe, okay, I can't see you for another 3 months, whatever. And so we put this tour together just because we really like each other, and this is the only way we're going to be able to see each other. And I got my girlfriends too. These are my guy friends. I got my girlfriends. But what happened during that whole thing was when we started touring together was the climate of the world changed and this movement happened. And we didn't realize how important this tour was until we got on stage. And you see not 60-40 male, female, but the scale started to tip, and all of these women that are starting to come out to these shows and representing what rock and roll means to them, and you really recognize that this particular genre and anything really in life, but this genre, which is so much a part of our hearts, is not exclusive to gender. I know it's been promoted for years about this rock and roll and metal, it's testosterone driven, and I answer that question every day. What's it like to be a girl in a male dominated industry? It's fantastic, by the way. But so you get on. Hell yeah, man. I can do it in my high heels too. But no, we realized how important this was, and you see these girls owning this feeling, this beautiful feeling. We've been talking about this a lot the past couple of days, is that rock and roll and this heavy music is a feeling, and we approach it in our way, and it's just so amazing to see that happen. And then Maria and Ash and I also talk about, by us doing this tour, we're on stage literally showing women that you can do anything that you want to do in life. I'm talking to you. anything you want to do, and because we're living proof, because we're here. So yeah, it's been amazing. It's been amazing.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I appreciate it.
And we need more women playing drums too, because that's really cool.
Yeah, we do.
It's badass.
We need more women playing drums and bass and everything. Yeah.
Bass is cool.
So I wanted to ask you guys how you feel. I just want to ask you guys how you feel about sort of backing up this message of female empowerment and what's that like for you guys?
It's fantastic. I mean, when we started, Lizzie in particular, I mean, I can only speak for her at this juncture, but
Go right ahead, Josh. You're
thank
allowed.
you. But she was, we as a female-fronted band were on an island, really. I mean, as a baby band, all the bands we toured with were guys, and they were incredible to us and really showed us the way. But you didn't see a lot of other girls out there, and now you're seeing. Geez, there's 4 female-fronted bands we just toured with, and we're going to continue that. But you're also seeing it on the throughout touring and throughout the industry, but tour managers and crew and
Not just on stage.
Yeah, everywhere, like throughout the industry, and so that's like in the past couple of years, it's just this thing you notice now. You're like, wow, this is like I don't know, the scales have sort of evened out here.
Yes, when we first started, before like just playing Pennsylvania bars all the time, I remember we got to showcase for some record labels and stuff.
What to do with you?
We don't know, so whatever, and Atlantic took a chance, and our manager Bill and Scott Sokol, we're just gonna do what we do anyway. So just keep going.
I think
and it's
that,
cool.
when it comes to music, it's complete bullshit if someone's going to say that you can't do something for any specific reason. Music is a free thing, and if you feel it and you want to make it, then you should do it, no matter who you are or what you are.
I like that. Well, it's coming. So I know that you,
Getting hungry.
I also appreciate how you are a role model for young girls, so some of whom are probably out there today watching. Do you feel like because there's, young kids watching and listening to your music, does it ever affect, your musical output or outlook? Yeah.
It's funny. I never used to get asked that question, and it started up recently. About are you worried about what you say in your lyrics, and what I realized is that by being being more myself, and by not saying I'm sorry. To me, it's a better role model, even if I have a few swear words, on the record or anything. I've never gotten a letter from a mother saying, "How dare you?" And I've only ever gotten the opposite. And I get these. Speaking of letters, I get physical letters every day from these kids that are drawing pictures of me with my Explorer and talking about how we were their first concert and now they're starting a band with their friend, or hey, you encouraged me to paint because that's what I really want to do. And it's just so fulfilling, because when I was growing up, there wasn't a whole lot of that in my scene, and so I grew up a lot with these male-fronted bands, and then I kind of had to reach back to our foremothers of rock, Hart and Pat Benatar and Joan Jett and Stevie Nicks, and to see like, oh, well, that's possible. So there was a light. There was a light at the end of the tunnel when you're introduced to a woman doing that for herself and then carving out her own path in life, no matter what that is, and man, just to be able to be that for somebody. I didn't ask for it, but the fact that I'm able to stand up here and represent, I feel like it's a responsibility, and for me to just be me and be the best me I can be, and encourage everybody to be the best them. So yeah.
So I want to talk a little bit about the beginnings of Halestorm.
Uh-oh.
Just a little bit, because you've probably told this story before. But I know that you didn't start out on guitar. And so when you did pick up the guitar, did it take you a long time to get up to speed? Like, how was that for you? And why did you fall in love with guitar and sort of step away from the keyboards?
Well, to be completely honest, I picked up guitar because I want to be a badass. That was the only reason. But I did fall into it kind of abruptly because I was playing keyboard at the time. I started out on piano. Our dad's a bass player. There was always music in the house. We grew up on Deep Purple and Ronnie James Dio. It's like there was always... It was inevitable it was going to happen eventually, but when we first started, we had hired a 16-year-old guitar player who was only in the band for 6 months. His mom made him quit, and he ended up lying to his mom and still doing gigs with him, told her he quit, but they didn't tell us that his mom... It was a mess. Anyway... When he quit the band, he was our first guitar player, and my 16-year-old self is distraught. I'm like, oh, we're never gonna find another guitar player, so I might as well learn. And literally, I had a few lessons, but as is tradition, there weren't a whole lot of guitar teachers that would teach me because they didn't think I would take it seriously because I'm a girl. So I got some books, and I played by ear on my keyboard, and like, okay, that's E, that's E, okay, and it just did it the long way. And I tell most people, if you're gonna go my method, just play it loud and start making noise until you start making a noise that you like, and then just go with that. So that's the science of that.
Just play it loud, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's science.
It's science, yes.
So since we're on Guitar World today, I thought we'd chat a little bit about gear and what you guys' go-to guitars are these days and what you're plugging into and all that. So who wants to?
You want me to start?
Yeah.
So I'm a Gibson girl. I always have been. I saved up for my first Les Paul Custom, and that took a long time, but still have that little sucker. And now I have 2 signature guitars on Gibson, so they've been very good to me. They're out. Yeah, I play through JCM 800, Marshall. I'm kind of a meat and potatoes type of girl. I don't have a whole lot other than what I do with my guitar and what I plug into the amp and play it really loud. And I play and sing at the same time, which is always a dance. Then you add in the 7-inch heels, it's a big mess, but somehow I work it out. And but yeah, I think that for me, I was attracted to those 2 brands because that's just been the staple. This is what my heroes played. So yeah, that's the gist of it for me. Go ahead, Mr. Pedalboard that goes to the moon twice.
I love guitars and gear, and it's what I collect and kind of all I do every day. Yeah, I don't have any signature models, or I don't really want one. I don't like working with any companies. I just like playing guitars that inspire me. So I have. You settle down, sir. No, but I got my Fenders and my Gibsons and my Gretsch, and I just got a Manson, which is a really cool guitar. This guy Hugh Manson in England makes them. He's John Paul Jones's tech, and it's got a fuzz factory built in and all this weird shit in there. It's just cool and weird. When you hear the record, you'll hear it on 2 songs. We put them right next to each other, White Dress and Vicious. You'll hear that guitar just doing its thing, and it's different and really cool. But yeah, it's all kinds of gear. I just got a new guitar yesterday because we're going to do something with Guitar World, and I didn't bring any of my guitars, and I was like, well, it sounds like a good time to buy a guitar then.
Good excuse.
It's always a good time, right?
Yeah, always. As apparently, Nightbob just told me that Walter Becker coined this term, but apparently I have bad gas, which is guitar acquisition syndrome. So,
I was going to say that could be either way at this point.
you were back there in the room with me.
You're just across the bunk hall from me.
Just keep
can attest
calling
to
it
both
that,
those.
Joe.
There are things you can't unsmell.
That's true. That is true.
All right, I'm changing the subject now.
All right.
What about you, Josh?
I've gotten a lot of cool basses over the years, and I always, like, my go-to it was used a lot on the first 2 records, and it's really like my live sound as a Rickenbacker 4003, and the thing is just sings. The more you go up the neck, it just sings, and it's really cool. And I go through a Super Bassman, which is, I love it because it has it's 2 channels. It's got a vintage and an overdrive, so you can get this get teeth, but you don't have to sacrifice signal by throwing in fuzz pedals and all this nonsense that just kills your signal. So I do that, and then I have this cool Moog Taurus pedals, and and it's fun because then you can start working up the neck on the bass and make some cool colors, but hold it down, with your feet.
Cool. And I don't want you to feel bad if we don't ask you. So why don't you share what you're playing?
I actually do have a Gibson Lucille. I'm in no way a great guitar player, but I use it as a songwriting tool. And I've kind of always looked up to drummers that also play guitar, guys like Dave Grohl and Marcus Mumford and those guys. I've been into the acoustics lately. I think it's a kind of a rhythmic guitar, rhythm guitar thing. So, but I just use it for recording songs and stuff like that.
So when you guys started out, what were you playing? Were you playing rock
Oh,
music?
goodness. Rock music? Oh, we thought we rocked. In our minds, we were fantastic. Yeah, but if you ever want to laugh at like 3 a.m. and you just can't go to sleep and really want to chuckle yourself to sleep, you can literally Google our name, because we've been Halestorm since 1997, and just put in 99 or just a random 90s date. You'll see what we were up to. But we were lucky because we had parents that had such. They had such a childish, reckless abandon approach to parenting. So when we had some weird idea, like, let's build a rotating upside-down drum kit for my little brother and strap him in.
True story.
We
YouTube.
My dad worked on big machinery, so he was a mechanic, but it was like big machinery, like big bakery equipment and all of that stuff, and so he was quite handy, and so he took we were on a 20-acre farm at the time, so he took an old tractor axle and some steel parts and Ford seat belts and Velcro for his feet and an old kit and belted it in, and it was manual, so it was usually my mother behind just letting him fly, and we had to watch how we treated Mom that day when there was a gig day. But we would do this, like, because when we were kids, I was 13 and RJ was 10 when we decided to start Halestorm, and I had a keytar. It was a mess. Yeah, you're getting the picture. I don't have to get into the whole thing. But it's like you're getting out there and we're like, okay, what do we do to create attention? Not realizing that just having a 13-year-old and a 10-year-old playing in like a mall parking lot for a fair, is a spectacle unto itself. But so
We built it to get on the cover of the local newspaper.
Yeah, we wanted to get on the cover of the local newspaper.
Like, what'll get us really good press?
And we did that. I still have that newspaper.
Until I got too tall for it, then
That's true.
There was the danger of the ground.
Once his head started hitting the ground, we had to retire it. So.
I don't remember those days. That's weird.
It didn't affect him much at all.
I'm fine, right?
Yeah. But musically, I mean, like we were still listening to a lot of classic rock, so I was doing a lot of things with some, Moog synthesizer sounds and just everything in a MIDI, very cheap, and organ sounds, and I still have an old Fender Rhodes, so we were writing this like weird 5-minute, like epic, almost psychedelic, but with a pop sensibility. I have no idea, but like I said, you can look it up and see for yourself, but we just loved it because we would literally be in the family van going to the coffee house gig that somehow we begged to, stand in the corner, and the rule was we had to be quieter than the cappuccino machine, or like our first bar gig was happy hour in the corner, but we're going to the gig, and I remember, I think it was you who would always point out, like, see all those other people in the cars? Where are they going? I don't know. To work, somewhere boring, to school. We're going to a gig. We're gigging, man, so it was great, it was really, I look back on those times as fond memories, because
Still a road gig, man.
we were doing it, so yeah.
And
We're on tour, man.
And I wanted to ask you, like, you talked for a second, you mentioned guitar heroes. So who are like some of your guitar heroes? And even today, like, who do you think is really, besides you, of course, is killing it?
I'm amazing. No. Mine were a lot of, it was a lot of classic rock. So it was Tom Kiefer from Cinderella, was the guy. was that collection, the VHS collection of night songs. Some of you will never know the joy of sticking a VHS tape into a VCR and putting it and just letting it play.
Adjusting the tracking. So
Trying to get the tracking.
Yeah, the
right?
tracking, it gets old, yeah. So I had a collection of that, and those videos really just made me want to pick up a guitar, and a lot of the way that he plays, I never really recognized, but the guys recognize in my playing, oh yeah, every time
Your
we see
vibrato and
the
Tom's
vibrato, yeah.
vibrato are like...
So there's that. I also, honestly, I really loved Neil Young's approach to soloing, and I know one never really talks about him like he's a guitar hero, but he was amazing. Those jams, he had no idea what he was doing. He had no idea, but somehow it sounded great. Or did he? Yes.
The one-note solo is...
It's
it
brilliant.
takes a lot of talent to
Brilliant.
own one note. You know, it takes a lot of talent to
How about Prince?
sing on one note.
Prince? Another unexpected, insane guitar player.
yeah.
Wow, I didn't know that.
So I saw that you guys have a date coming up with Joan Jett.
Yes,
And
absolutely. Another guitar hero.
Have you played with her before?
I have never played with her before. This is going to be the first time. So yeah.
I thought you maybe were rocking the Joan Jett hair.
Well, you know what's funny? I did this, and then we got the gig, and I'm like, oh no, she's gonna think I'm the biggest super fan, the biggest germ. So of course I'm gonna wait outside her dressing room and be like, hi, in leather, you know.
You gotta get the photo, the selfie with Joan Jett.
A selfie with Joan Jett? Are you kidding me? Yes, absolutely. It's funny. I've sung and I've performed with a lot of my heroes, and every single time, you put on your leather jacket and you're like, I'm cool. I can hang. I've done this. I'm putting out four records on Atlantic Records, and I won a Grammy. Every single time you get on stage and you're like, oh God, the 13-year-old self is just screaming, and you got to press her down, just stop it. Don't embarrass me. So, yeah, that'll happen again. It's about to happen again.
And you have a lot more tour dates coming up, right?
Yeah, but I'm the wrong person to ask. My booking agent is here somewhere.
All right. I'm sure you can go on hailstormrocks.com and find out.
You can go on hailstormrocks.com to find out, though, and I'm going to do that in a little bit. So, where are we playing tomorrow?
Let me help you. It's July and
Thank you.
August around the U.S. within this moment and New Year's Day. And the show with Joan Jett's in Minnesota in August someday. I don't know.
Yeah,
Thank
so
you. August 9th.
August 9th, I heard August 9th.
You guys should fly to Minnesota
I
for
heard
that.
9th, do I hear 10th, do I hear 11th?
Well, so we're going to take a few questions from the audience, and then you guys are going to share a few new songs with us.
We're going to do a nice array.
And before I take a question, I just want to ask you, are the songs you're playing tonight, have you played them before?
There's one song that we've played before that you guys will know. We're going to kind of do an oldie and then something from somebody else that we've never played before, and then a brand new song. We're going to do the title track to the record for you guys.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Okay, so we have Brad out there with a microphone, and he's going to pick somebody to ask a question. I can't see,
Brad.
so Brad, why don't you...
Brad, I read your book, the Jimmy Page one. Did you write that?
I wrote that one.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, he's a writer.
God bless you.
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
Can I hold this? Hi, guys. Hi, Lizzie.
Hi.
I'm going to speak for everybody here. Everybody's here because we love you guys.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
I myself am a heavy metal hard rock fan, and the fact that I know you respect Doro Pesch,
Absolutely.
Joan Jett, Stevie Nicks, everything you said. But I just have one question. Is it true, did you take singing lessons from Steve Whiteman from Kix?
I did indeed, actually. That's a funny story. So we got to open up for his side project back in, I don't know what year that was. I'm not going to give you the date because then you'll do the math and you know how old I am.
99, 2000 probably. Yeah.
Something like that. We opened up for his side project, Funny Money, at the Tourist Inn in York, Pennsylvania. And I knew of Kix because, of course, I'm a few behind in music. I grew up in the 80s. So we got to play with him, and he was just amazing and doing those kicks and singing. And I heard him warming up, and I had never really knew the concept of a warm-up before I met him. And so I was just kind of asking him some advice, and he said, well, actually, on the side, I teach at the basement of Marty's Music in Harrisburg every Tuesday, and would you like to come down? And so I went that Tuesday, and I got down the basement, and he showed me things I had never known before about my own voice, and I went to him for 2 solid years every Tuesday, and he taught me everything he knows, and I still warm up in a towel, and I do all the things that he taught me, so yeah, that's awesome.
Thank you. All right, we got another one.
Hi guys, I'm Becky.
Hi, Becky.
Hi, Becky.
Hi. Becky. For up and coming bands, what would you guys say is like a huge challenge that you guys have faced in terms of like growing as a band?
Hard rock fans by doing it, but what if it just works, man? You never know. But we saw some of that, and we weren't that interested in it. We wanted to keep it guitars and really push this, whatever it is we are, as far forward as we could. And I think it's cool. I hope that this hard rock thing gets out of the ghetto of music a little bit and gets a little more mainstream. But even if it doesn't, there's a great scene and a great community, and millions of fans around the world, and it's, I don't know if we're ever going to do that. I can't predict the future, man.
Yeah,
We just finish this record, damn it.
Yeah, I know exactly, but for us, we always consider our records a piece of time in our life. I feel like that's why they're called albums. There's snapshots of where you were, and so like last record, we were in a different mindset, and we were just chasing what got us excited. This particular record, we didn't feel like going down that road, and we almost felt. I don't know, we just felt more excited to double down on the rock and keep that. Now, whether we're gonna write a rap record next, I don't know. I can't, I know. You should see me try to rap. Yeah. Uncomfortable is about as fast as I get. But no, so like, yeah, I think we represented rock with this one, and just, for whatever you're trying to do in life with with everybody else's band, they're just doing their thing, so.
All right, we got one more.
Hi.
Hi.
So we've been lucky enough to see you guys live a few times.
Yeah. The first time.
Happy anniversary.
And they're not sick of us yet, which is amazing.
Not yet. Not yet. So my question is, what we chase is that live vibe, that live sound. Is that what you go for when you're recording?
We're always chasing that dragon.
It's hard to bottle, to capture that energy, and I think we've been trying. Last record was a vibe shift for us. We tried quite a few different gears, but we recorded it together live, and we definitely got a more ambient sort of live. But this record, Nick kept us like true and honest to keeping the energy up and keeping that sort of live raw feel intact, and it's the closest we got to bottling that energy, and that is the goal, though. Yeah, I mean, especially for us, I mean, the live show is something different from recording, and we usually try to just interpret what we do live, from the record. But this one captured energy we haven't before.
Well, what I've heard so far is kick-ass. So,
Thank
good job.
Thank you.
I'll be curious to hear your review of the record, being a seasoned veteran of the live show. So,
Okay, I think one last question, and then we're going to hear some music. So,
Hi.
yeah.
You gotta do the little girl too, when you're done. One more. No, after you.
Okay. Hi, guys. What message do you want your listeners to take away from the new album? Like, what message do you want to send?
Personally, I think that just with Uncomfortable, it's a lot like that, where it's, I mean, as we, just personally as people, and I guess I should really just say personally for me, so I don't speak for anybody else, but I'm a reformed introvert. I was that girl in class that wouldn't raise her hand to go and take something up to the office because I was afraid I was going to screw it up. And it took being in this band and surrounding myself with people and being able to really find my outlet and something I can do that nobody else can, you know, that makes me feel proud about myself, in order to come out of that and come out of that shell. And as I get older, I realize just how important it is to love yourself and to, again, be very unapologetically you, and no matter what anybody says, no matter, you know, and I've told you this before, you know, if anybody tells you that you can't do something because you're a girl or because you're this color or because you're this way or you're this shape, you tell them to come talk to me, so.
Yeah, all right. All right, we've got this girl right here, and that's...
Hi, my name is Michaela, and I've been a fan of yours 12 out of the 12 years of my life.
Yes, from inception, yeah.
Those are good odds.
I didn't see you for my first concert. I saw you for my second concert. I saw Metallica first.
Oh, we'll take that, we'll take that.
Sorry, my parents buy the tickets, so. My question is, so my brother plays guitar, and I'm an older sister to him, and I want to know what's your advice if me and my brother ever decide to have a band together?
Oh, that's awesome. Well, it's to us, it was the best decision because, number one, just as family, we're able to travel the world together and see all these new things and experience so many things just with, you know, your brother who you love, and I hope you love me still. We'll see. The jury's still out. But the other thing, you know, musically, we have a different language, you know, than anybody else that we play with because we grew up together and we can almost kind of predict what each other is doing. And I truly think that because we have that family vibe, that has kept our band together because you don't break up the family, therefore you don't break up the band. So we know how to fight and not break up the band. Yeah.
Which I'm sure you know what that feels like. You get into fights, but you're still family. So there's a chemistry there, you know, and that chemistry, brushes off on everybody that comes in, because when we brought these guys in, it took us a while to find them, but they had the same type of family feeling that we did, and they've now become our adopted brothers.
Same thing with our crew. Our illustrious Mike Mahar is in the house.
Yes, Mike Mahar on sound.
The infamous.
So everybody that comes in that wants to be a part of it, like, feels that energy. They want to be a part of that family, a part of that cool group, you know.
But the way we got started is really you just have to do it. So, you know, play together we played together in our parents' living room for a long time, and then we got our mom to book us a gig at a coffee house, and then the next one was at a bowling alley, and we started meeting other people and other bands that liked us, and they would take us and give us gigs, and so it's play in front of as many people as you possibly can, and each time it gets better and better. And I can't wait to buy tickets to come see your show.
No, why don't you tour with us?
Maybe you'll open for Halestorm one
Wait, hang on,
day.
say it again. Here.
I sang Dear Daughter for my talent show, actually.
Oh, really? Oh,
Dear
that's
daughter, that's
awesome.
awesome.
All right, guys,
Keep
thanks
going.
so much.
Keep doing it.
We're going to just give us a minute. We're going to reset the stage, and then these guys are going to play for you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Are you happy now?
He's already adding up.
Always one more try. I'm not afraid to die. Stand and fight. Say what you feel. Born with a heart of steel.
All right, guys. Are you ready to rock? Yeah. All right, Halestorm, come on and give us some new music.
Hi, guys. And you know what? I know we got a lot of diehard fans in the house tonight. You are such a huge part in what we do. I hope you know how important you are to us. Thank you so much.
This is cool for me too, because I'm usually way back there, and I get to be up here close to you guys today. Yeah. You're in the splash zone. Yeah, that's right. Keep it going. No, don't really.
All right.
No.
All right, so first up.
That's what you guys look like? Oh, God.
All right, we're gonna play some songs for you. First up, we're gonna go back to the second record. Kumbaya. So this next song we're gonna do for you, we've never done full bands before, but back when we were teenagers, I met Joe Hottinger over here, and And we decided shortly after we met that we're never going to have a real job ever again. Of course, there's always rent and things that you do need money to do those things. So we would play 4-hour acoustic shows at local bars all week. Anywhere they let us play. Smoky, it didn't matter. In the corner, very sticky floors.
When you get home the next day and open up the guitar case, and it's like,
Ugh, pillow smells. Yeah.
pillow.
That's York, Pennsylvania for
We're
you.
also dating ourselves. This is when you could smoke in bars. But like I said, don't do the math. Just don't.
But these were also the days where I was underage and I couldn't legally play in bars, so unfortunately I missed those.
We didn't
years.
notice.
I missed those smells, unfortunately.
We didn't notice you were gone.
Oh, really? Because I've been here the whole time. You didn't know?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Well, I hope I don't screw it up then.
We definitely noticed you were gone.
Oh.
And we noticed when you
Josh.
arrived.
Josh is cool. I like that.
That was subtle. I liked it. But anyway, we started playing this song and we just love it so much. It was one of my mom's favorites. Still is. She's still here. Mom's still kicking. But it's one of her favorite songs, and we told her once that we would play it for her. So we're gonna do it again, but do it full band. This is Jefferson Airplane. White Rabbit. One pill makes you larger, and one pill makes you small. And the ones that mother gives you don't do anything at all. Go ask Alice when she's 10 feet tall. And if you go chasing rabbits and you know you're going to fall, tell my hookah smoking caterpillar has given you the call. And call Alice when she was just small. When men up on the chessboard, and I've been telling you where to go, and you just had some kind of mushroom, and your mind is moving low. Go ask Alice, I think she'll know. When logic and proportion have fallen sloppy dead, and the white knight is talking backwards, and the red queen's off with her head. Remember what the dormouse said. Feed your head. Feed your head. It's a little druggy. All right. Before we play this last one, just thank you so much for coming tonight. Thanks for throwing the party. Thank you to our entire team who is in the house tonight for believing in us. How many years on Atlantic? This is 12 years, something like that. And you know, our amazing manager, Bill McGathy, and our amazing booking agent, Scott Sokol over here. Our wonderful one-man crew, Michael Mahar on the sound tonight. And all of you, thank you so much again for enabling us to do what we love every single time. Our album, Vicious, comes out July 27th. I cannot wait to show it to you guys. I'm gonna stand. And this is the title track off of that record. This is called Vicious.
You make me vicious. Watch as I make the pain my mistress. You can call me Miss Malicious. I'll dress you up in stitches. No, I cannot resist this. If it don't hurt, I get suspicious. I like to take the knife and twist it. Yeah, my love is sacrilegious. I'm not scared to admit it. This violence is delicious. What doesn't kill me makes me vicious. I'm not gonna break. I can take all that you can give. This is survival. I'm the sickest. I am not afraid. Bring the pain. Watch out, 'cause I'm vicious. And I'm not asking for forgiveness. Yeah, I'll make you go ballistic. Your torture is my business. No, I cannot resist this. I don't care if you hate me, 'cause you're gonna have to face me. And there's no use in crying. You know I would be lying if I said you could escape me. What doesn't kill me makes me vicious. I'm not gonna break. Doesn't kill me makes me vicious. 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 What doesn't kill me makes me vicious. I'm not gonna break. I can take all that you can give. This is survival. I'm the sickest. I am not afraid. Bring the pain. What doesn't kill me makes me vicious. What doesn't kill me makes me vicious. What doesn't kill me makes me vicious. What doesn't kill me makes me vicious.
Thank you, guys. We love you very much. Can't wait for you to listen to the new record.
Thank you, Halestorm. Thanks, everybody, for coming out. Get vicious. Order it now. Don't wait. All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks, everybody.